Hi everyone, and welcome warmly back to English for the Mind, a channel dedicated to sharing knowledge for comprehensive self-development through great books. If you are still being dominated by emotions like sadness, envy, fear, or anger, causing your mood to plummet without knowing how to cope, if you still make mistakes and feel remorseful for saying hurtful things in a fit of rage, then today's book will be an excellent choice for you. This is a book that I will loosely translate as The Power of Emotions, Love, Anger, and Joy. The philosopher and thinker Wang Yongming once said, "Catching the thief in the mountains is easy, but catching the thief in the heart is hard." The thief in our heart ultimately refers to the 7 emotions and 6 desires. According to Buddhist teachings, the 7 emotions are the 7 different shades of human feelings, and the 6 desires are the 6 worldly cravings. This book talks about the 7 emotions of humanity, analyzing the 7 types of emotions that have accompanied us from birth until now. Emotions are flowing currents of energy within us. If you live in harmony with them, you can easily master your own life. Understanding your emotions allows you to interpret them better, empathize with the emotions of others, while still protecting your own. From there, you can turn emotions into strength to face life positively. The author of this book is a renowned psychiatrist in France and the US, François Lelord. He is also the author of the global best-selling psychological healing book, Hector and the Search for Happiness, which is another incredibly famous work of his. The book I am introducing today is co-authored by the French psychiatrist and psychotherapist Christophe André. Now, let's explore what these 7 emotions are. Is being completely unfazed by any fluctuation a wonderful thing? The authors say that if there were a pill called Soma, a drug that helps you remain perfectly calm in any situation, meaning no matter what trouble you encounter, your outward appearance remains unchanged, allowing you to respond with a tranquil heart like a calm lake, making it hard for you to be swayed by worldly emotions. Wouldn't this be the exact pill to help us achieve the goal of cultivating a peaceful mind and a serene spirit? So, would you want to buy this pill? But the authors add that before making a decision, you need to clearly understand its side effects. First, without the influence of emotions, you would become indifferent to life. Second, because you aren't swayed by emotions, you would no longer feel hurt, which could lead to dangerous behaviors toward yourself and others. Third, your memory would decline and your judgment would weaken. Fourth, you would face difficulties and obstacles in connecting with other people. Hearing this, do you still want to take this pill? You will see that while emotions can cause us a lot of suffering, conversely, they also add flavor to our lives and help us establish deep connections with others. In reality, emotions are the driving force for us to express ourselves to the world, and they are the most primal energy within us. You need to understand and manage your own emotions to harness their power. First, we need a basic overview of emotions. An emotion consists of 3 main components: physiology, cognition, and behavior. It is a flowing energy that moves from a state of calm to arousal, causing the body to produce physiological reactions like elevated blood pressure, increased heart rate, and rapid breathing. Then, the emotion will affect how you think. When angry, your vision narrows, focusing only on the point that caused the anger. When sad, you might get stuck in whatever is making you sad and start thinking negatively. Finally, it makes you react and take action. Now, let's dive into the details of each of the most basic emotions. First is an emotion that probably troubles many people daily: anger. You will notice that many people, when angry, often blow up and exhibit behaviors like smashing things, slamming doors, or even becoming aggressive toward others. Conversely, there are also people who, when angry, choose to swallow their resentment, keeping the anger inside without showing it. However, when dealing with anger, both exploding and suppressing are mistakes. The right thing to do is to face it directly, clearly understand the anger, and then resolve it. But to truly understand it, we need to know, why am I angry? The causes of indignation seem complex, but they can be summarized as follows. Reason number 1, you are angry because you don't want something to happen. Reason number 2, perhaps someone intentionally caused that something. Reason number 3, the thing making you angry goes against your core values. And finally, the most crucial factor, you are angry because you know you can control the situation and you allow yourself to be angry. For example, if you are walking in a forest and suddenly encounter a tiger, would you get angry? Of course not. Most people would be absolutely terrified because they know they cannot control the situation. On the contrary, Wu Song, the tiger fighting hero, is different. He could control the situation using his own anger. Just think about it. Many times when you get angry and yell at someone, the primary reason is that you know you can control that person. Even if you say harsh things, you believe that they won't leave you or can't do anything to you. But remember, there is no one who cannot walk away from you, whether they are the people closest to you or your most trusted employees. Remember, the people who allow you to get angry are either those who truly love you or they are afraid of you. As long as there is fear, the other person will never be sincerely open and wholeheartedly devoted to you. Do you really want a relationship like that for the rest of your life?
The solution here is to look back at yourself. The authors provide methods to help you resolve anger as follows. First, you need to learn to converse with yourself. Question your ingrained beliefs. What belief makes you think that others must do exactly as you wish? Is this belief entirely reasonable? Second, after understanding why you are angry, try to minimize the triggers of your indignation. For example, if someone at work is always making things difficult for you and causing you frustration, instead of just sulking and focusing on their flaws, it's best to find a way to improve the situation and change yourself to eliminate the factors that cause your frustration. To do this well, thirdly, you need to learn to think from other people's perspectives. According to Buddhism, all anger stems from a higher level of the ego, meaning, I feel I am very important. My attitude, my values, and my self-esteem are the most important. When you feel exceptionally important, many things will instantly make you angry. But when you learn to put yourself in someone else's shoes, feeling why they think the way they do, and whether it's truly necessary for you to be that angry, you will find a way to master your temper in that moment. Fourth, no personal attacks. This means when the fire of anger starts to ignite, pay attention only to the other person's behavior. Don't try to label who they are as a person. For example, instead of saying, "Why can't you ever do anything right?" a non-attacking way to express anger is, "You didn't do this correctly." Fifth, carefully consider before expressing yourself. When angry, don't immediately speak out, send a text, or post a status on social media. Give yourself time to cool down. Conversely, don't casually agree to anything when you are exceptionally happy either. Sixth, give the other person some time to express themselves. Who knows, maybe they didn't do it on purpose, and it might not have actually violated the principle that made you angry. Seventh, walk away. If you cannot control your fury, the best way is to turn around and leave. For example, when you are flying into a rage at your child, you can say, "Mom needs to calm down right now. Let mom rest for a bit," and then step outside or go to another room to sit for a while. This is a very effective way to control your anger. And the final way to control anger is to learn to let go. Don't cling too tightly to your obsessions. Truly, when you look back, you will see that nothing is insurmountable and nothing is a massive deal. When you can accept everything that happens, your temper will naturally subside. On the flip side, there is an equally important issue here. Many people are actually lacking anger. That means they overly suppress their own anger, thinking, "I must always control my emotions, otherwise people will see me as immature," or "I must never hurt others, otherwise I will feel guilty." These are actually beliefs instilled in your mind by others since childhood. It stops you from getting angry, but it leads to depression. Just as the book The Truth About Burnout I shared previously mentioned, if you have no way to express your anger, it can lead to severe psychological illnesses or even physical diseases. The best approach, instead of saying, I must always control my emotions, or I can only get angry when I am 100% right, is to think, being angry when I am right is justified, but I also have the right to make mistakes. Please don't be too harsh on yourself. Or, instead of saying, I need to act friendly, otherwise people won't accept me, affirm to yourself, I hope people accept me, but I don't need everyone to like me. That wraps up the sharing on the first emotion, anger.
The next emotion is envy. In reality, there is no standard physical expression for envy because it's rare to identify that someone is envious just by looking at their face. Envy is an internal drama, a tearing sensation inside. For example, when visiting a childhood friend's house, you realize you both graduated at the same time, and they used to do worse in school than you, yet now they have a wealthy home and a prosperous family. On the outside, you remain as calm as a river, but inside you are turbulent and start feeling sorrowful. Some people might think they are experiencing jealousy, but this is actually envy. Jealousy is different. According to psychology, envy is directed at the happiness and material wealth of others. Jealousy, on the other hand, is when you discover that something you wish to possess forever is in danger of being snatched away by someone else. I will explain the feeling of jealousy more clearly in a later section. This book tells us that generally, people experience 3 types of envy. First is depressive envy. People with this type of envy, upon seeing someone progressing more than them, will usually think, good things like this will never happen to me, or I am so unlucky. These emotions will push you into a state of wanting to withdraw. The second type is hostile envy. A typical manifestation of this is thinking, how could someone like them achieve this? A person with this kind of emotion thinks no one can be equal to them, so they will find ways to nitpick, speak ill of, or ruin the other person's image in the eyes of others. The third type is admiring envy. He is truly very talented, so getting promoted is normal. I will work harder myself. This third type is a relatively healthy form of envy. Therefore, there is good envy and bad envy. If the feeling of envy is good, you will have the motivation to improve. But if that emotion is bad, you might do things that hurt others. Envy can be a driving force for progress, but it also needs to be managed, especially depressive and hostile envy. If envy makes you suffer and lose your spirit, you need to reflect and manage it.
So, how do we manage it? Step 1. You need to frankly acknowledge your own envy. For example, the house you bought is exactly the house of my dreams. Living in a cozy home like this, how happy you must be. I am truly envious of you. Just by saying this sentence, you will feel much more relieved, and the other person will too. Step 2. Express your envy positively. Feeling genuinely happy for them from the bottom of your heart is a way to express emotion with very high energy. For example, I know buying a house is not easy at all. This is the result that proves your hard work over the past few years. I am truly happy for you. Step 3. Examine yourself to see if you have thoughts of inferiority. Thoughts like, my friend is so excellent, but what about me? Am I progressing or falling behind right now? People who think this way always want to show their best side to others, but you must realize that this is exactly the factor that causes unnecessary envy within you. Or conversely, check if you have thoughts of superiority. If your ego is too high, you will feel that you must be better than others. But in reality, when you inevitably fall short, you will bring suffering upon yourself due to this envy. If you still have such thoughts, you need to move to step 4. Weaken the other person's superiority in your eyes. The opponent's superiority is actually just imagined by your envious ego. The author argues that in this world, there is truly nothing worth being envious of. If one must be envious, there is only one virtue we should envy: those who can create their own happiness. For example, a mechanic fixing a car on the roadside, and he is very joyful doing it. He feels happy. A person who can dedicate themselves to their work and help others, those are the people truly worth our envy. I hope that we can turn the feeling of envy into a motivation to strive against ourselves and no one else.
Next is the emotion of joy and happiness. There is a smile called the Duchenne smile, discovered by a French physician named Duchenne. Did you know? A person with this smile is someone who is truly happy and radiant. That joy is a smile where the muscles around the eyes contract naturally. Take a look back and see how many times a day you smile naturally like that. Joy and happiness have the greatest impact on our lives of all emotions. Why can we say that? First, joy makes people generous. This has been proven by experiments, not just mere talk. A psychologist asked a group of people to participate in a psychological experiment. After the experiment was completed, they walked outside and saw a beggar at the door. He then discovered that as long as these people felt amused and happy inside the lab, they were much more likely to give money to the beggar. So, does being happy make you generous, or does being generous make you happy? Here, they mutually reinforce each other. Therefore, be generous and give more, and surely, complete feelings of joy will come to you. Second, joy also makes people creative and enables them to make better decisions. That doesn't mean a hasty decision, but a high-quality one. Joy also helps you to be brave yet cautious. We often assume that extreme joy turns into foolishness, meaning when people are too happy, they will take crazy, risky actions. But that's not joy. Rather, it's hedonism. On the contrary, truly joyful people always dare to take action, but they act more cautiously. Joyful people won't like boring jobs. They will choose interesting, challenging tasks. Therefore, be ready to proactively accept harder tasks than others at the workplace. This is exactly how to make yourself a happier person at work, giving yourself more opportunities to grow. One thing to note here is that the author divides human happiness into 4 states across 2 dimensions. Let's find out which kind of happiness you currently need. First is the excited joy coming from the outside. You can understand this as exhilaration. For instance, back in middle school or high school, getting the Excellent Student Award, or when we win a competition, etc. This feeling is very common among teenagers. Second is the excited joy coming from within. This is an Aristotelian kind of happiness, the feeling of accomplishment when your life goal is actualized, when you dive into a meaningful career and finally achieve it, thereby improving yourself. Third is calm happiness coming from the outside. This is a feeling of satisfaction. For instance, sitting in the garden with your spouse, sipping tea, and watching your children play around you. This happy feeling makes you quietly smile with deep contentment. Finally, there is the feeling of inner calm happiness. This is called serenity, when we clearly understand our purpose in life and know that life is just the way it is. Life is impermanent. We will live calmly and enjoy the journey of experiencing it. These are 4 different feelings of happiness. Notably, they are not ranked high or low, meaning any form of happiness brings high energy. So, to improve happiness, what do we need to do? First, you need to ask your present self, what kind of happiness is your ideal happiness closest to? What makes you happier right now? What is your happiest moment? What happy moments have you missed? Does what makes you happier depend on you? Always interrogate yourself with questions like these to help keep yourself on the right track. But you also need to pay special attention to what happiness needs and doesn't need. Happiness doesn't care about money or age. We are always afraid of old age and feel that getting older is a terrible thing. But in reality, people feel happier as they age. There is no research proving that young people are happier than old people. Older people can calmly tell the youth that everything will pass. You should be happy because you are young and have many opportunities for everything. But the youth won't think that way. Life's troubles will cause young people pain, and any blow will be infinitely magnified. So, what is important for happiness? To be happy, you must have health. The arrival of just a minor illness will immediately diminish the happiness within you. Happiness also depends on your personality. Let's see if you can easily discover joy and create happiness. Happiness is also critically dependent on the quality of your marriage and relationships. Be cautious and choose carefully before deciding to marry someone. And happiness also heavily relies on your beliefs. What kind of beliefs do you hold? If you only believe in money, you will only become more miserable. Finally, happiness also depends on your career and is influenced by relatives and friends. These are the elements that a person who wants to be happy needs to have. But you must remember that obtaining a sense of happiness is not about trying to pursue many things that satisfy you. As the author says, happy people are happy because they find happiness in every situation, not because the events or circumstances they encounter make them more satisfied than others. Happiness is knowing how to be content within our desires and staying lucid to calmly learn how to face success or failure, pursuing the hope of both perfection and imperfection.
Next, we will talk about sadness. In life, everyone goes through days of sorrow. Some are criticized by their boss, some lose a pet, some fall ill, etc. All of these things break people's hearts, but ultimately, all sadness shares a common trait: loss. Losing the trust your boss had in you, losing a canine companion, losing the ability to function normally, losing wealth, losing your own sense of meaning. These are all losses. They will make you feel sorrowful. We always only like joy and are very afraid of encountering sorrow. But sadness is born to teach us to prevent similar situations from happening again. It makes you reflect on your actions, mistakes, and inner ignorance, and it also evokes compassion from others. Conversely, it also allows you to empathize with someone when they carry pain in their heart. The emotion of sadness is not as terrifying as we believe, so don't let yourself become unbalanced. If you forever wallow in pain, it will swallow your entire being. So, when we feel overwhelmingly sad, what do we need to do? The first thing is to accept it. People with deep spiritual beliefs and profound inner lives are very good at accepting and overcoming sadness. They believe that sorrow is karma, a karmic debt, a personal lesson, and the chosen path one must walk. Having such a belief makes it easy to shift one's perspective on pain, accepting pain simply as an experience for you to realize the value, the lessons, and the insights behind it. And from there, you will feel better. Additionally, you can express your sadness carefully to someone you trust. Expressing carefully means don't turn it into a repetitive complaint told over and over again. After that, try to pull yourself out of it by shifting your focus. Look back at what activities you used to love in the past or things you wish to experience. Actively redirect your focus to those things. They will help you escape the pain. And if all the above methods don't help you, seek help from professionals like a psychologist.
Now, the next emotion that I believe many people have and are hiding is shame. Shame is a painful feeling stemming from the thought that one is inferior, inadequate, or looked down upon by others. From an adult's perspective, some feelings of shame in children are unwarranted. Many young people think their parents are ugly, dress sloppily, do manual labor, or ride rickety bikes. So they often tell their parents things like, "Don't come to the school gate to pick me up," or "Park over there and wait for me," etc. And surely many people will regret this when they grow up. So why do we feel shame? It is when a person fails to achieve alignment with 4 principles of conformity with those around them. The first principle is consistency. For example, everyone in the class rides a scooter, but you don't. A cheap, unattractive manual motorbike creates a difference, and this makes some young people feel ashamed. The second principle is a lack of mutual support behavior, meaning your selfish action is exposed in front of others, making you feel ashamed. In the book, there's an example. On the first day college students move into a dorm, everyone shares food brought from home with each other. But one girl stays behind in the dorm when everyone else has gone out, just to eat a cake her family prepared for her. Unfortunately, everyone returns right as she is eating it. This would make her incredibly ashamed. Next, the third principle is about physiology. Every adult has felt this during puberty. Some feel ashamed for going through puberty too early, some feel ashamed for going through it too late, and some feel ashamed because they are different. And the final thing that makes people feel ashamed is the pressure from competition. For example, the whole team has excellent end-of-month performance metrics, but you don't. This will make you feel ashamed. Shame has a typical physical expression common to everyone: blushing, bowing the head, and lowering the eyelids. Of course, shame has its own role, and any emotion that innately stays with us for years has its reason. The function of shame is to make others more forgiving toward us. For instance, when you are standing in a checkout line, your bag accidentally drops and everything inside scatters everywhere. If at this moment you show no shame, you will clean it up casually and slowly, making the people behind you wait. In that case, you will definitely be scolded and reprimanded by others. But if you show that you are ashamed, constantly apologize, and quickly clean up, people will empathize with you. You see, shame effectively helps us to behave properly.
However, on the flip side, shame also has its limitations. For instance, excessive shame will make you unpopular or even alienated. A person, especially teenagers, who constantly hunches over, bows their head, and is extremely shy when meeting people will gradually be ostracized by the group. Worse still, there are people who initially weren't insecure but became victims living in shame. A typical example being victims of sexual assault. This constantly imposes massive pressure on many people because our inner dignity sets certain standards. Even though society stipulates that you made no mistake and you are the victim, deep down you still cannot accept it. So, how should we manage shame now so it doesn't turn into negative energy within us? First, express it. Every time the feeling of shame is spoken aloud, it no longer weighs heavily on you. The French writer Annie Ernaux, who won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2022, famously said, "The worst thing about shame is that we believe we are the only ones feeling it. But in reality, when you are ashamed, others can feel it too. So gently turn the shame into embarrassment. Being embarrassed or awkward is less severe than shame. Shame can intrude deep inside you, but embarrassment can disappear with a smile." Furthermore, regarding people who have a habit of deliberately humiliating you, the best way is to reduce your interactions with these types of people. Some people with immature personalities will project their own inner fears and anger onto others. Therefore, they have a habit of humiliating someone. They habitually make inappropriate jokes or expose the flaws of those around them. When this happens, we should see through their emotions, sympathize with people like this, give ourselves some personal space, and not turn ourselves into victims of shame. And lastly, introspect on your inner beliefs. See if your expectations for yourself are too high. And to know how to transcend an inferior complex, you can check out the famous psychological book, What Life Could Mean to You by Alfred Adler through a video that English for the Mind has previously shared and deeply analyzed. It will help you clearly understand the feelings of inferiority and shame and how to turn them into an extraordinary strength within you.
Next is the sixth emotion, jealousy. This book analyzes the feeling of jealousy mainly in the context of heterosexual relationships in love and marriage, which we often call romantic jealousy. Jealousy arises when people feel their relationship is being threatened to some degree. It can also be a sign of a lack of self-confidence. When the feeling of jealousy flashes within you, it comes accompanied by anger, fear, sadness, and sometimes intermingled with shame. This is a complex and relatively negative emotion, but it also had its own role in primitive society. When procured food was limited, jealousy helped humans survive. If a husband had no feelings of jealousy and allowed his wife to freely socialize with others, the child they raised might very well not be his. Or if a wife allowed her husband to have relations with many others, she might very well not have enough to eat, because the man would have to feed other children. Up until modern society, where food is plentiful, we still easily retain the gene for the emotion of jealousy. It makes us maintain our exclusivity with each other. Jealousy can also cause us pain. The three main characteristics of excessive jealousy are close surveillance, restricting the partner from interacting with others, and having a degrading attitude toward the partner. People who exhibit this kind of jealousy usually have very low emotional energy. So how do we manage jealousy? Just like every other emotion, the first thing is we must acknowledge our jealousy while simultaneously facing it to find a solution. Then ask yourself a few questions like this. Have you ever been hurt by a cheating partner? Were you hurt by the deceit of your parents? Do you feel you are not important or attractive enough to occupy someone's heart for a long time? Where does this bias come from? Questions like these will force you to think deeply. If the feeling of jealousy continues to cause trouble for you and your partner, seek advice from a professional. Finally, you must reserve some personal space for your partner. When you strip away someone's private space, the risk you initially perceived won't actually decrease, but might actually increase. Jealousy is a normal and natural emotion. Although it often devalues oneself, it is still a part of a healthy psychology if we know how to manage and face it properly. It will add a bit of spice to your own life.
Finally, let's move on to the emotion that humans always try to avoid: fear. For adults, the objects that cause fear usually fall into the following categories: animals like insects, mice, snakes. Some fear heights, or many faint at the sight of blood. Some are afraid of public speaking, or enclosed spaces like elevators. There are also people afraid of thunder, or afraid of water. They panic when water reaches their chest and touches their nose, etc. Why are we afraid of the above things? Because all of these are related to the origins of danger from primitive society. They brought a lot of harm to humans, so humans fear them. But human fear is not just the innate fear originating from primitive society. There are also many fears that gradually form within you later on. For example, fears originating from culture, like the fear of ghosts and demons. Fears originating from society, like children fearing their parents, students fearing their teachers, subordinates fearing their bosses, etc. The emergence of these types of fears usually stems from our need to avoid getting lost or isolated in our society. Lastly, humans also have fears arising from false beliefs in the mind. For example, fear from feeling insecure, fear of a partner's betrayal, fear of scarcity, etc. Therefore, many people have tried every possible way to control the situation or fill the void with their own material world. Ultimately, fear is an emotion that makes you uncomfortable and unhappy. You certainly do not want to live in fear every single day. There are even many people who, simply out of fear, have extreme overreactions. When fear turns into negative energy within you, causing you anxiety and self-doubt, you will need to find a way to manage it. So how can we manage our feelings of fear? The first thing, which this book has mentioned many times before, is to acknowledge and express your fear. Don't try to cover up the fear. When you are clearly scared, sincerely tell others that you need help. The second thing is to learn to grasp the fear, meaning find ways to prepare and gather as much information as possible. For example, if you are afraid of traveling to a strange place alone, prepare all the possible information about the trip. When you know how you will get there, where you will be, what you will do, etc., you will feel more at ease. Fear will no longer be able to hinder the powerful energy within you. Next, let's learn how to relax. When you are afraid, your heart rate will spike. At this moment, you can close your eyes, focus on your breathing, taking each breath in and out to reduce the insecurity it brings. Finally, confront it. Here are some important principles to confront fear, which I will summarize as: bravely and proactively expose yourself to the fear gradually and within a controllable level. For example, if you have a phobia of crowds,
Proactively try participating in competitions that require interacting with many people, starting from small competitions first. If you are afraid of a certain animal, for instance, I have seen many people who are afraid of cats, then gradually expose yourself to cats within your control.
So those are the 7 emotions that accompany us throughout our journey of growing up. I believe you will recognize the presence of these 7 types of emotions. Behind them all, there are underlying causes. Maybe you are disappointed with life. You are dissatisfied with the present. You are worried about the future. You feel you cannot fit in with the people around you. And there are many other anxieties. Once you are aware of these deep-rooted causes, you can easily say to your emotions, "I see you." Just by being able to express them, you will be able to face your emotions in the calmest way, instead of being controlled and having your life dictated by them. Therefore, do not care too much about the time, circumstances, or other people to the point where you try to suppress your emotions. You are entirely capable of releasing your negative energies in a timely and appropriate manner, so that in every present moment, you can immerse yourself in your emotions, living in harmony with yourself and with others. Understanding emotions, expressing emotions, and resolving emotions. This is the best way to help you calmly accept an imperfect self. Imperfection is the true perfection. I hope both you and I can cherish and embrace every emotion, fully love ourselves, and bravely keep moving forward. Thank you for listening. If you found this video helpful, please share it with those who need it. Don't forget to gift me a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to catch my latest videos every week. Once again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next videos.